This might be an unpopular opinion, but I think bolters are fucking ass. Whether it's on the tabletop or in lore, I think that bolters, despite being, a pretty awesome weapon, it fires rockets, is an honestly pretty shitty design when it comes to, the design of firearms and shit like that. So what I mean by that is because, like, for a lot of people are gonna be like, what, bolters? But they're so cool. They're like the size of Red Bull cans. Yes, I know the bullets are massive. They're not the size of Red Bull cans. They're more like, like elephant gun style bullets. But like the point I'm trying to make is that they're incredibly inefficient. They're, you know what? Let's just go into detail. Okay, let me just describe why they're so shit. So first off, bolters are loud as hell. Like the original wielders of the bolter were the Thunder Warriors. Why are they called Thunder Warriors? Because it fucking sounded like thunder whenever you'd pull the trigger, which, don't get me wrong, it's a terrifying tactic to use against your enemy. Like, you're fighting someone and their guns roar like thunder. Yeah, that's gonna be fucking terrifying. But like the reality of it is that like it's a loud weapon. The bullets are incredibly like massive and destructive, and they cause like shrapnel damage. So they're great at crowd control. But the problem with them, the biggest issue, is that they are massive. That takes up a lot of space. They're incredibly encumbering. Like anyone who's ever used a firearm who actually knows about shooting knows that you don't want your bullets to be like massive. You don't want massive bullets. Like, yes, Space Marines are massive, so they're proportioned to their body, but like still. And like not just that, like Space Marines could use autoguns. Like Space Marines can use autoguns in 40k, and not only that, but autoguns are just as efficient. Like maybe they don't break through ceramite, but like there are instances in the lore of traditional like modern day firearms actually puncturing ceramite weapons, or ceramite armor rather. And like we know from like just the canon lore that ceramite, despite being incredibly powerful, is not unbreakable. And like Terminators, they have reinforced ceramite plating, and Tyranids like claws can cut through that shit like nothing. There's no reason that a highly skilled soldier with a decently sized firearm, not even like an explosive one, but a decently effective weapon, could not punch through ceramite plating. Bolters are extremely inefficient. But here's the funny thing that a lot of people don't actually know about bolters. And that is, bolters were always intended to be phased out. That's right. The weapon that everyone always associates with Space Marines, that associates with the Imperium as like one of their pinnacle weapons, the thing that people always brag about, those weapons were meant to be like outsourced. They're meant to be completely outmoded and deleted. Because in 40k, they were going to replace the bolters with the Volkite weapons, which were basically like laser microwave guns that cook you from the inside out. They raise the surface temperature of whatever they hit. Like that is way more brutal, way more devastating, incredibly morally destructive, and way more lighter and easier to use than an actual bolter. So whenever you have someone question and argue that bolters are amazing, tell them no, Volkites are better.